Okay, let's start with a quick little spinal warm-up, and then we're going to transition on to our back. So coming on to hands and knees, toes can be tucked or untucked. I want you to pick up a leg and then just swing it one way, look over your shoulder. Swing it the other way, looking over your other shoulder. Just an easy side-to-side motion. And then placing your foot down, pick up your other foot, and then just swing and look over one shoulder, and then swing and look over the other. And coming back to center, and then from here, just a couple little easy cat-cows. Any amount, any range. Just warming up. Pushing into the hands as you round. Reaching the sternum forward as you lengthen. And then from here, we are going to transition on to our back. You come on to your back here, and then you don't need any of your props yet. You're going to bend one leg in towards your chest, and then if it feels available to you, straighten the other leg out. And then all I want you to do is just flex your foot, stretch that leg up towards the ceiling, and then point through the ankle, pull back down. And flex, reach the leg up, and point, taking it down. So here, this might seem like the old-fashioned hamstring stretch, and in many ways it is, but we're also mobilizing that sciatic nerve and that whole back line of the body. On this next one, let's take the leg up, pause here, and then just point and flex through your foot a few times. You may feel a little zap, zing, or tug down the back of the leg. That's pretty normal, so no stress if you do. If it feels too intense, just back off your range of motion, or bending this other knee will also decrease that intensity, if you will. All right, we're going to turn this into, actually, let's do the other side, and then we're going to turn this into a little flow. So stretch that leg out. Bend your other thigh in, gently hug behind it, and then flex, take the leg up. Point, take it down. This is a good time, too, to assess, are your two sides different? What does your range of motion feel like in this moment? Remember that if you are in the tight hamstring club, you can always bend your other knee if needed. And then take the leg up and hold it there, and then point and flex a couple times. All right, from here, I want you to bend your knee in. We've already warmed up our spine a little bit through that rolling pattern. And all I want you to do is just rock yourself up. Straighten that leg out, reach over your legs. And now here's the sneaky thing. I want you to hug your other leg in and then roll yourself down. And then rock yourself up. Stretch the legs, reach over any amount. Hug your other leg in. It's okay if this isn't the smoothest move you've ever done. And rolling it down. Let's go 2 more times like this. Rock up, stretch forward, hug in, roll down. 1 more time. Rock up, stretch forward, come in, and down. I lied. We're going to go 1 more pausing at the top. Rock up, stretch forward. From here, stretch over your legs. You can have your hands forward or a little bit more by your hips. And then I want you to flex your feet and bend your knees, point your toes, and take it down. So starting to pump through the legs this way, exploring how this feels today. If you reach the arms a little further, you'll feel a different tensioning on the back of the legs. And let's go 1 more time. And then from here, you can just come to your back however you wish, or you can reach the arms out in front of you and then roll it back 1 more time to rest on that. Okay, from here, bend your knees. We're going to do a little bit, now that we've mobilized the back line of the legs, we're going to do a little bit of hamstring and core activation. So if you happen to have a yoga block or that towel. You can play with which one you prefer or what feels more comfortable. Option A is going to be to put the block between your leg and your thigh here. Option B is going to be to put the towel there. Personal preference does not matter to me in this moment. So pick a thing, any prop or no prop at all. Find where both hips feel square. Take one hand over the other and press it up against your leg. And the first thing I want you to do here is just take an easy inhale. Exhale, squeeze the towel or block. Gently push your hand into your thigh. Notice how when you do this, if you keep equal weight on both butt cheeks, you'll feel some core tensioning happening, and then release that tension. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale here, exhale, press in. Sometimes I even like to flex my foot to really get that hamstring activation. At the same time, I get my core contraction and letting go of that pressure. 1 more time, inhale here, exhale, press, hand to thigh, and letting it go. Notice what that side felt like. Put your foot down. Let's switch sides. If you have a prop, place it behind your thigh. I'm going to flex my foot because I feel like I get better activation that way, but you can play with what feels right for you. Square off your hips. One hand goes over the other. And then from here, take an inhale. Exhale, press hand to thigh. Inhale, release that tension. And again, exhale, press hand to thigh. Trying not to shift on either side of the pelvis. And let go of the tension. 1 more time. Inhale, exhale, press hand to thigh. And then releasing the tension. All right, now we're gonna go on a small adventure. Again, we're gonna build this up and put the 2 pieces together. So no prop for a moment, but have it close by. Knees bent, feet flat, about sit bones distance apart. If you need to go a little wider or narrower, that is fine. Elbows can be bent by your sides like so, or arms can be straight. That's up to you. I want you to feel the inside and the outside edges of your feet. And if you do sometimes have a difficulty feeling kind of what's activating in a bridge, you are welcome to take that block and place it between your thighs. Or sometimes what I like to do is actually place the block between my feet so I can feel my inside edges, which is what I'm going to play with right now. So decide what version of the bridge you are going to do. If you've got the block there, feel the inside edges of the feet. Inhale, exhale, push into your arms and your feet. Reach your knees out into the wall in front of you as you send your pubic bone to the ceiling. Throat stays open so you're not overly ducking the chin. And then coming down, just tap your butt. Let's go 2 more times like that, lifting up. Feeling like you're trying to really reach the thighs long, and the ribs aren't overly popping. They're actually staying a little bit connected in. And tapping down. 1 more time. Feel your feet connect into that block if you're using it. Hover your buns. And coming down. All right, this is where we're going to build a small fort. You are welcome to stick with this version of the bridge. The next one, I'm pretty much guaranteeing you may get a hamstring cramp. That is normal. If you don't want a hamstring cramp, or you're like, this is my level today, this is plenty hard, fabulous. Stay here, no worries. For those of you who want to go on a small adventure with me, the block is coming back and or the towel is coming back. So I'm going to place the towel behind my leg that's staying on the ground. My other leg is going to come up like we did a moment ago for that little core exercise. And if you really want to go nuts with your props, the other block is going to go behind your thigh. So I've got towel with leg on floor, block with leg on thigh. You don't have to do that. I'm flexing my foot. So from here, I'm going to anchor through my foot that's on the ground. I'm going to press my hands into my thigh and I'm going to lift my hips. That's the hamstring cramp, probably on this leg that's on the ground. I'm going to tap down. Don't worry, we're only doing 3 of these. Press into your foot. Lift your pelvis. Any amount. It could barely hover. That's fine. Tapping down. 1 more time. Don't lose your props. Hey, hamstrings and glutes and core. Coming down. All right, let's rebuild the fort on side 2. So towel goes underneath the thigh of the leg that's going to be on the ground. Block is going to go behind your other thigh. Whew, there's my hamstring. I already feel it. All right, hand to thigh. Good times all around. You only have to do 3. Feel this foot, connect into it. This is a good time. I don't normally love the word squeeze, but if it helps you to squeeze your butt, go for it. Hand presses the thigh, lifting up. If you're like me, one side is much trickier. Tapping down. Remember, you can stick with a basic bridge or the basic hand to thigh. This is just the supercharged version, if you will. One more time. Ha. Pressing it up. Coming down. Ha. And let it rest. All right. Take your props out of the way. Let's do a little retest of that hamstring stretch. Take a leg long. Thank goodness. Hug your other leg behind you. And now flex up. Point down and just notice if for any of you the range feels a little bit easier than it did a moment ago. So that's side A. Switch sides for just a moment. Check in. Same deal. Flex up. Point down. Notice if maybe it feels a little more even. And again, if it doesn't mean you did anything wrong. Good. Keep that leg hugged to you. Let's check our forward fold. So you're going to rock forward and up. Lean forward. Notice if that feels any easier. Might or might not. Hug your other leg in. Roll it down. Let's do that one more time. Just noticing if it's any easier to roll up and down after having done those movements. Hugging in and coming down. Good work. All right, we're going to roll onto our side now. I am going to do a little bit of a rolling pattern. So what I would recommend is you don't have to do the rolling pattern, but when you go to roll, have somewhere to go. So I'm going to end up starting a little bit on the front edge of my mat. And then again, we're going to use the block if you wish, but it is optional. So set yourself up onto your side. You can let your head rest down or you can prop your head up. And then you can have your legs in a straight line or a little bit kicked forward. Again, up to you. If you feel adventurous with the block, you are going to pin it kind of right behind your ankle and your butt. So it's going to look like so. If you feel really frustrated, like you're losing the block, or you pin it differently than I do, that is fine. You also do not have to use your block. So just keep in mind that if you're doing the block-free version, you're just going to have the knee bent, no big deal. The block just provides some feedback loops here. So once you have it there, figure out where your pelvis feels stacked, figure out where you are comfortable or feel most in line, and then just start to hold the leg up and just start to gently press your heel towards your butt and start to take the leg back a little bit. Your hand can be on your hip, it can be forward, it's really up to you what you do here. So now, try not to lose the block. You're gonna bring the leg forward, and I just lost mine, ha, and then take it back. And again, it's a little trickier than it sounds, yeah? So you're gonna swing it forward, try to keep it. Also notice if your foot is doing something weird. Mine is always doing something weird, and take it back. So again, just noticing that little bit of activation. Yes, it's okay to fuss with where your block goes. This is as much a mental game, isolating our leg movement from our pelvic movement, as it is like an exercise. Good, let's go one more time. All right, let's turn this into something that feels a little nicer and flowier. So take the block out of the way for a moment. Reach the leg out. Oh, that should feel kind of nice. And now let's start to play with reaching the arm and the leg in opposition and then letting it go back. So now this is going to be a little bit more dynamic, pointing as you reach, trying to feel that connection from hand to foot, flexing, kicking it forward. One more time, pointing and reaching, flexing and kicking it forward. So now on this one, we're going to do a little transition. I want you to, as you kick forward, fan the legs, and then you're going to meet me on your back. And pause. All right, now that we're here, flex through your feet, and I want you to lower one leg down, and then bring it up, and then lower the other leg down, and bring it up. If you feel pretty good with this, you can start to go a little bit more reciprocal. And if you need to have one knee bent where you just do a few on one side, or you have the leg planted and then you do a few on the other side, that's also a valid choice. Yeah? All right, so from here, I am going to lower, because I'm going to roll to the back, my right leg down, a little bit of thinking, and now we're just going to transition and roll onto side number 2, and we're going to repeat that all again. So grab your block if you're using it, otherwise just mime having a block. Find a way to pin that either behind your thigh or behind your knee, or between your kind of like calf and bum. And then come on down. And then when you're ready, flexing your foot, kicking it forward and kicking it back. And again, exploring, can you keep the block? And the answer might be not without adjustments, and that's okay. Like I said, this is a little bit of a brain teaser. If you're like me, you also will have one more coordinated side. Maybe go one more. Good. Take the block out of the way. And now let's make this a little bit more dynamic. So straighten out your leg. And then what I want you to play with here is kicking the arm and leg in opposition. So as the leg kicks forward, the arm kicks back. There is a little bit more kind of rotation action happening here. And let's go one more like that. And now from here, you're going to transition, fan your legs up onto your back, meet me in the middle. All right, once you have done that, flex your feet, and then you're going to lower one leg down, pulling it up, and then switching sides. Now, as always, remember you have options. You can do more reciprocal, which is a little trickier, trying to keep the ribs connected. Or you can bend one or both knees and you can do a few leg lifts. One leg stays connected to the ground for increased feedback and stability. So you decide. Good work. And then from here, bend both knees and let your feet find the ground. Nicely done. Let's check that hamstring stretch one more time, and then we'll end with something a little bit on the nicer side of things. So I want you to take one leg in towards you, straighten the other leg out if that feels available to you. Flex up, point down. Just notice if having done a little bit of stability work, do you feel more ease or length in the back of that leg? Again, the answer might be no. That's okay too. Good. Reach that leg out. Take the other leg in. Flex up, point down a couple times, just explore that. And then let's explore rolling up. So keeping the leg in, hug and roll up, stretch over your legs. See if your range has changed at all. Hug your other leg in, roll it down. One more time, hug and roll up. Stretch forward, and again, play with flexing the feet and pointing as you bend and straighten the knees, and just notice, does this feel any easier? You can also play with other hand positions. And then from here, reach the arms out or just come to the mat however you wish. Let's roll it down one final time. Once you're on your back, meet me there. Bend your knees, take your legs about mat width apart, or what you envision to be mat width. Open your arms out to the sides. Palms can face up or down. Start to sway your knees over to the left. Look over your right shoulder. Coming center. And then just switch. Easy windshield wiper legs. Good. One more. And let that all go. Thanks so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed that video and found it helpful. If you did, I try to put out new content like this on a fairly regular basis, so you are more than welcome to subscribe or drop any questions or requests that you have for me down in the description.